I'm always full of bright ideas. I don't think doing the podcast in your garden's one of them.
Absolutely.
You know, when I started setting up, I was like, oh, it's a nice backdrop, lovely light. And then I started setting up and I realised what underneath a flight path and the neighbours doing some building work.
Oh yeah, there's always building work going on around here, man. They built that illegally. They didn't get any planning permission. There's like a big.
What are you pointing at? Tell them what you're pointing at.
There's like a big shed where they keep steel pans and play them.
They play steel pans?
Yeah.
What, like they play pans like the drums?
Yeah,
like
they built steel pans, but that was built completely illegally.
Oh, I just realised
there's no planning permission.
I just realised how passive aggressive a podcast this is now, because you're just going to just talk like this.
Oh no, hold on, for all the building work that these fucks have had done.
You're telling me there's a wall at that side that just popped up?
No, they legally did that, to be fair. That was completely legal bit of building work, but that went on for like 2 years. And so, like, you know, when you're a comic and you work nights and you get in at like 1 in the morning, anyone who works nights, you get in at like 1 in the morning. You don't just get in at 1 in the morning and go to bed. You sit up for half hour. You sit up for 40 minutes.
You unwind, play a bit of PlayStation, and read a bit of your book.
7 in the morning, and you're just like, and I went round, I was like, guy, like, I'm not getting any sleep. Like, you can't do this.
Contract workers never cater for night shift. Like, night shift's one of them things where you're like, if you're gonna do a night shift, that's on you. Like, it's sad because like I've done night shifts in real jobs before. But like, you know, when you wake up and the bins are getting done and all that, you're like, oh, the rest of the world's waking up, but this is like doesn't work for me at all. Like, the world isn't set up for night owls. Like,
yeah, and you die way younger as well. Like the health implications of it, because your circadian rhythm's just fucked.
Is that right? Does it fuck you?
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast I was listening to a guy on Rogan who was saying like, there was like it was something like an increase of like 30-40% of developing cancer or something was in people who work nights, because you're biologically hardwired to go to bed at that time.
Like you've got a cigarette in your hand now and you're like, it's the night shift. It's the night shift that I do. It's getting to bed at 1:30.
It's getting to bed at 3:30 because I stayed out and had 5 beers afterwards as well. But it's the lack of sleep.
You did a great idea the other day that I was actually quietly impressed by. Like, I had a little smile on my face. I was tempted to follow you into it, but then I was just like, no, just let him have this one. We're in Greg's. And I said, you didn't realise they did breakfast, did you?
I knew they did breakfast, but I didn't know you could get like
a baguette.
Yeah.
So I ordered a baguette with like everything, the bacon, sausage and an egg, and they were like, this nice sausage. And I ordered a sandwich and got it without sausage. And then Elliot went, can I get a bacon and egg sandwich, please, and a sausage roll? And then you dismantle your sausage roll and put the sausage on your baguette.
It's class.
And I was trying to be disparaging, but again, it's not the same as I think putting a hot dog in your breakfast.
It was proper like, lad, like you've seen someone do something and you can't let your mate have something, so you try to tear him down at any minute.
But then I walked away, I was watching their sandwich going, actually.
It wasn't great. It was a cold sausage roll. It was a motorway station Greg's for breakfast as well. Like being on that's proper on the road.
Proper on the road. So we're on the road now. Daniel's I've been replaced by Elliot, and I've replaced Daniel. That's the tours.
It's been going well.
The tour's had a shuffle, and we've done 3 gigs. We've done Bristol, we've done Bath, and we've done London, and 3 vastly different gigs actually.
Yeah,
because we've done like a theatre, a comedy club, and then a studio room and a pizza joint.
That pizza place. The audience were cool.
The audience made it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, saying that, let's talk about this. The audience were class in that they were very reactive to the jokes, so that you're like, you're having a good time and you're in good company and you're confident in your ability because you're fucking doing your job to a level where everyone's laughing and they're getting their fucking ticket money's worth, right? But not one person in that room could hold on to a piss.
I think they were doing coke.
It must have been.
I think there was a group on the coke, which I've always said, why are you coming to a comedy show and doing coke?
It's such a strange thing to tell with comedy, because all you want to do is talk about yourself. And instead, all you have to do is listen to somebody else talking about themselves.
I even think drinking's a bit of a weird one.
That's it as well, because once you break the seal, that's why, like, you know, you didn't tend to go to the cinema with a skinful.
Yeah, well,
so like you can probably make it through a movie. I'm not the best at making it through a film.
Yeah.
But like if I'd had a skinful, there's not a chance I'm getting through a film. So that's what's happening with comedy. You've just got fucking a bunch of people that have been pre-drinking before your show that broke the seal, and then they got in and out. But at this Bath gig, the stage was by the door to the venue. So like that was at the beginning of the show. We're just like, let's go up a little bit late and make sure everybody gets in, otherwise we're starting the show and there's going to be people walking past the stage. But that just meant every fucker was walking past the stage going for a piss. It was such a weird fucking...
And it was a weird venue as well. Like it was like very high ceiling, weird lights coming down. The stage was like 2 panels, like basically 2 like panels together, like elevated. But then when I was on it, I said to you when I was opening, I was like, you need to stand stage right because there's a speaker there, so these people won't be able to see your facial expressions.
And you probably had a job as opening act as well, where you got you had to do like technical troubleshooting when you went on, which I've had to do before, but less and less as Daniel's tour gets bigger, because like you get a tour manager, he's at like venues that are more accustomed to this stuff. And I remember like the early days where I'd gone on and I'd sometimes like take a bit of a bullet. But you took a big one, because even though it was sound checked, when you come on, it was just like gain was ramped up, it was really boomy, and but like you nearly popped their eardrums with opening line. And they couldn't laugh at it because they didn't know what you just said, and they'd just been overwhelmed with sound, and it just sounded like a joke bombed because they didn't hear it.
Well, that's what I thought happened.
You had to dig yourself out of it, and then I had to go and run the back of the room and speak to the tech and turn it down. Which I had to go outside the building and up the other side so that I wasn't walking past you through that door. So it's going back to grassroots this tour.
That's the thing. That's the thing with touring, is you kind of like, you come off the circuit, you go onto touring, but where you go from doing, like, especially when you get to the point of circuit where you can tour, you're mainly doing good comedy clubs. So you're mainly doing like your Glees, your Comedians,
which I've got those in the stands.
Your store, the stand.
But then you start plugging in these other little venues that are maybe like art centres or like studio spaces.
Art centres, man, of the world. I was doing Bedford. I was doing a preview in Bedford. And it fucked it. It was like before the Fringe, and I was like gigging and previewing every night. I was like a week out from the Fringe, quite stressed. And I get to the Bedford one. And the guy came backstage, and what really annoyed me was he was eating an ice cream. Like he had an ice cream, he was just licking it.
Well, just seductively in the front row?
No. He was a bloke who was working there. He came in eating ice cream, and he was like, yeah, you good to go in 5? I was like, yeah. I was like, are you... When's someone going to tell me to, like, go on? Mm-hmm. How's someone going to tell me? And he went, well, someone might come up. And I just went, no, someone will.
Nobody's running this gig.
I went, someone will come up.
Was this your tour show?
No, it was a preview, but I was going, and they're fucking... Because the art centre's right... They're run usually by volunteers, and they're sweet people, but they haven't got a fucking clue.
But they're like Lawrence from McDonald's.
Who's Lawrence from?
Lawrence from McDonald's. You'd keep forgetting that. We'll listen to that. Me and Elliot listened to an Opie and Anthony episode. With Patrice O'Neill in. And by the way, there is 3 problematic men right there.
Bad people.
You know, when you listen to more of them and you like hear their ideas and you go, oh, like you literally hate women.
Yeah.
It's only law holding you back from being a fucking monster. I mean, and death as well when it comes to Patrice.
I keep it quiet who I share that stuff that I've listened to that with. That's some people you don't need to know that you've listened to it.
But if you can fucking separate if you can just go and have a look at this on YouTube, the fucking abhorrent fellas. They found out that there was a guy called Lawrence who got 50 years of service in McDonald's, and he got like
service like he's fought in Iraq.
And he got like a couple of gifts, but it was just like quite an underwhelming. Like, and he's like, how is he not the fucking owner of McDonald's? How is he not the CEO of McDonald's by now? So they were just like, oh, he must be special needs, but they're not being as kind as that with their words. So they phoned up this McDonald's to just see if the guy was like had his wits about him, and he clearly didn't. And he was just clearly like cleaning trays up and doing the litter. He wasn't doing the food or anything.
And he needs this job. It's like one of them says, he comes with this, like, as it's like managers change over, he just comes with it. He's part of the furniture. He's just employed there because it gives this guy a reason. There you go, there's some drilling going on down there.
A flight went past before. I just saw Mark Nelson saying apologies for the absolute cuts sound quality on his podcast, and I just thought I'd join him in the gutter.
Mark Nelson writes an apology for that, like he's let down the work. Like, this is not the standard we set. What, your podcast with you and Ryan Cullen? Not got the standard.
All the regulars that listen to this as well, like Jamesy Giraffe and Lulchula and all that, they'll be there going, well, fucking, it's just not good enough. I'm sure you'll forgive Mark. I'm sure you'll forgive us for the tweeting birds in the background and the drill. So they basically asked Lawrence to put the manager on, and then started asking questions about why they don't let him near the food and stuff. And they're really like, they're taking the piss out of someone with special needs. It's not good. And then
funny though.
I don't think I've ever like put my hand over my mouth in shock like that. Like I was leaning over the steering wheel while I was driving with my hand over my mouth and my mouth wide open because I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
This was a morning radio show, by the way. This isn't like a podcast.
Because they got the manager to put Lawrence back on, and then when
Leonard's his name.
Leonard.
Yeah.
Leonard. Okay, my bad. So they put Leonard back on, right? And they pretended that it was a new phone call and that it was the CEO of McDonald's, and they fired him over the phone. And they told him like he's got till the end of the week, and then he was like, okay. who's going to do my job? And he was like, well, nobody needs to do your job.
It's so bad.
So bad.
Even Patrice is like, guys, what have you done?
Yeah, and all I'm saying is that guy is who sometimes works as volunteers in these.
Yeah, 100%. But you turn up and they're sweet people. This is the thing, and I have this with my dad, so that is an insane amount of drink. Was that going to be picked up on there?
I don't know.
Fuck it.
These mics are good at cutting out stuff.
It'll be fine.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry if there's. We thought it'd be nice for you to have a bit of background of that tree. That's genuinely why we did this. We thought maybe there'll be a bit of tree. And now in typical South London sense, it's 1 o'clock on Sunday and someone goes, now's the perfect time for me to start dismantling my entire fucking house.
Sunday probably is a good time for that.
No, just the Lord's Day. Take a day off. There's just always something going, because it's Fulton Heath. I always describe Fulton Heath where we are as like you're never more than 6 doors away from something illegal going on.
We're going to do you guys a solid. We're going to just pause the podcast here and listen to a little bit of it back and decide whether you're worthy of it or not. And then we'll just re-record it. Like, not re-record, they're still getting it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's gold left.
Yeah. We're us talking about another podcast.
Delete this second-hand podcast. Right. So I'm just going to listen to this back and see what the drilling's like, and then probably just press record again anyways. So yeah, I mean, we'll listen to it back.
Yeah,
I didn't really pick up on it. So you get this is where we are. You get to enjoy us outdoors again until it starts raining in a minute, obviously.
Oh, Christ, yeah.
So, we've had a couple of good nights because we had the 2 shows in Bath and Bristol where we stayed with the Askins family, which is fucking...
You know when you're like, oh, is this what like a family's meant to be like?
If any of you have been altitude, which some of you have, you've probably hung out with the Askins family, but they are just the sweetest family of all time, aren't they?
They're too nice.
They're just so nice. They're as nice to each other. They
have something demonic going on.
What are they doing?
Something demonic.
I noticed we weren't allowed in the basement. What do you think was in the basement?
Oh, there's someone chained up in it. Imagine it turned out there was like a whole frictional situation going on there that the family just didn't speak about.
Maybe they just had like an open egg like off Aliens, and that's where Ryan Cullen came from. And their whole niceness is just covering up for spawning Ryan Cullen into the world.
Oh, we had that, and like it was like so sweet, so nice there, like just peace. And then last night was the exact opposite when we went to that place after your show.
Yeah,
that
what was
fucking
that?
bar,
so
man.
That bar, we're queued to get in. So, like, basically, we got last orders at another bar. And I love it when people in bars are sound about last orders where they're going, here's a plastic cup.
Yeah.
Go and drink the rest of your pint on the street.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, great. You're not going to make us fucking neck me pint that I just paid £7 for. So you take your pint on the street and there's people queuing for a bar across the road. But, like, you know what? I'd rather just go to a bar you didn't have to queue for. But I've got a pint in my hand. So
it's central London. We're in Piccadilly Circus, like the busiest bit of London. There in Leicester Square.
So queuing to get in, and it was a fair enough queue, but I'd finished my pint by the time we got to the front, but Katie and Olivia hadn't, and they got ejected from the queue for having a drink in their hand. Yeah, Not like, oh, you can't have a drink here, leave your drink. Like, no, even though you've queued this whole way, because you had a drink in your hand, you're out. And just evicted like 2 of our mates from the queue. And Olivia's boyfriend had already just got in.
Yeah.
And you had just got in, and I was the next one in. And then I just went, oh, I'll go and get your boyfriend. And then as I walked in, the doorman started giving grief to somebody else, and I just grabbed her by the sleeve and dragged her in so that we were in. But now Katie wasn't in, and her and Natalie and a couple of mates just ended up going somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we're going to text us when it comes. So we ended up getting split up at that point.
Well, you dealt with it very differently to me because I was with Katie and she was having a drink, got to the front, and the doorman went, yeah, you can't come in, stand this side. And then he looked at me, this big doorman, and he went, are you with her? And I went, I'm with her, but I'm not like going out with her, I'm not with her. And he was like, well, you're with her, so and she's not coming in. And I went, mate, I couldn't give a fuck if you don't let her in. he burst out laughing, and because he didn't want to let me in, but then I made him laugh. He was like, "Go on in, you go." So I just went in.
Katie wouldn't give a fuck about that either. She'd be like, "I don't give a fuck if I got in with him." Either.
I was like, "I couldn't give a fuck if you don't let her in. I'm going in."
You saw the night ended up a bit fractious, and then that place was just the cokiest fucking bell ends in the world.
We were. I wasn't really. I had one beer while I was there for like the 2.5 hours I was there. I wasn't really drinking.
I had a little dab of mushrooms, but it wasn't like it was like this acid drops. Like, my friend just put it on the meat of my hand there to lick off, and then I just had this kind of body high. It was nice. It was a bit uplifting, but it wasn't very visual, which is good. But like while I was coming up, fucking
Fight Central in there.
I went to join the toilet queue, and you were fucking trying to tell a lad to fuck off. There was just this lad, just like, you know, over familiar, just friendly, like, oh mate,
but in a slightly aggressive way.
Crack? And yeah, like shadow boxing you and all that,
Yeah.
and fucking, and like arm around you, like fucking trying to like nuke your hair and shit. And you're just like, mate, I hope you have a good night, but I don't want to be part of it, so fucking unsubscribe, like disengage. And then I come along and he started giving me the crack.
Yeah,
and
it was an Irish lad, and I look, Irish people like are 99% hilarious, good laugh. Know what they do, but like anyone,
some Irish people are like trying to emulate what their stereotypes is the like having the crack.
Yes,
and they're really like you'll find like some of the lads just like forceful with it, like as if that you're like fucking like privileged to be part of that fucking banter.
Well, it's like their whole thing becomes like, but I'm from Ireland, we're all funny, and it's like anyone whose like identity is like their football team. Well, that's all there is to them is I'm from here. This is what I'm like, and it just becomes like, man, I don't care. Like I had it one time in London. I was out with this girl and we were like in the smoking area. This lad went up to her and just went to her, I'm Irish.
Did he?
And she was like, yeah. And he was like, you should be chatting to me. We're good fun. And she was like,
and you know what the worst thing is? I bet you the majority of Irish people just hate this like misrepresentation.
Yeah.
That's why I watched that. I love that fucking series, Kin. So good, the gangster film.
Oh right, yeah, I've not seen it.
So basically, there's a character in it who, at first, I was a little bit like, well, they've just fucking taken Conor McGregor and turned him into a character on a drama, and then I'm like, no, it's much smarter than that. I'm not giving them enough credit. They've created a character out of all of the characters that Conor McGregor spawned. Yeah, they're like the people who think they're fucking nails because they're trying to emulate.
That's
Conor
who
McGregor.
This lad was last night. That's exactly what he was doing. It was that like and then it got a bit dicey.
Yeah, because I was like, I went through the gears. I was like, I didn't want to be part of this, mate. Just go and join your friends again, right? And then I like forcefully pushed him away from us and just like created space from like me and him. Like it just going through the gears.
He was grabbing your shirt and stuff a little bit, but not like he wasn't grabbing it like that. But it was like, you're now putting your hands on me.
And then his chest was out, his arms are back, and that's an instant like, mate, different shows the target. Like fucking like, I probably will. Like 10 years ago, and that would have been just like the fucking invite I needed. But I just wanted to fucking have a piss, and I'm about to come up on mushrooms. And then it was, we didn't even notice until afterwards. It's just when you went, Kai, there's a camera, but you like said it like for me to hear, just so I would know that I was on camera. Yeah. And I think that's when he realised that it was fucking serious, that he was like actually just looking around and weighing up the situation to see like what damage we could do. The camera. Then he instantly de-escalated and walked away, and it wasn't until we were like debriefing after our piss, we're just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that sounded serious. And then there was another lad who was pushing in, and then so I was like, fuck's sake, and I walked off. Like we went downstairs to this place. It was a good bar. It was good fun.
You know what was good about it? The music was at a good level where you could chat. There was seats available, so that
it was a live band as well as the music. Yeah.
There we go. That's how fucking observant I was. And the deck always nice. It was swanky and that. And we sat with like a small group around a table having a nice night. But anytime you had to do something like go to the bar, go for a piss, you just had to go through some of the most fucking arrogant cokeheads in the world.
It was a central London place as well. So it's like you've got like it's just like people dressed up to the nines. You've got lads coming in showing their Rolexes, all of this stuff, all of that, and then you've got that little bit of an aggression, like that little bit of like, and then so when we'd had that, I was like, I walked down. One of the doormen is my kickboxing coach.
Oh, yeah.
So I went.
You started looking for that Irish flag.
So I went up to him. I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" He was like, "Oh, what's happening?" And I was like, "Mate, you've got to deal with some pricks in here." He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "My night's just dealing with these drunk dickheads."
Yeah, what a shit job.
And it's not a shit. Like I reckon it's a good job if you're like
if you find that cathartic.
I think. Do you know what with this? Like, he's a good Muay Thai fighter. He doesn't need a fucking. Kick some drunk person in central London to feel good about himself.
That's like being an excellent footballer, and you just have to go and have a kick around with like the fucking Sunday League team every fucking weekend. Just like, oh man,
And I just told him that story, and he was like, I just had this image of like him coming to break it up and be like, right, you two, and then go, oh, what's going on, bro?
Just like you get a couple more punches.
That'd be a good like. But yeah, it was one of those things that I felt, not my age, my maturity. Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, looking at that fight, because I was looking, I was like, oh, maybe I'll just throw him to the floor or something.
It's so funny when I'm like 10 years ago, that would have been a fight before it fucking got to the point where it was. And like 10 years ago, I was still like 4 years older than you.
Yeah, but what I mean is like I had that thing on like, dude, I don't care about proving like who could. Why don't we get our I would say, why don't we get our dicks out and see who's bigger and just fucking if we're gonna have this thing. Like,
just because you knew you had coke dick.
Yeah,
Man's clearly got the coke dick.
he probably still
size you for a quid.
probably still blow me out of the water.
Gotta blow you as well.
And then I must have. I was just like, man, I just want to fucking sit with my mates and have a laugh. And then I was like, I'm not going to really drink or anything because that's just put me in a bad mood. So I was just quite happy. Like, look, I wanted to go to bed, but I like, so you want to, you've just done us a square theatre. I'm going to stay out with my mate, have a couple, like, sit around with everyone. And there was a thing of like, any girl who came and chatted to me or anything like that, because I've got a girlfriend or anything, I was in that place of like, there's no conversation that and I know this sounds super, this is just me being super autistic. It's like, there is no conversation I want to have with you right now, or you are drunk or on this level. Whereas like years ago, if I was drinking and stuff, I'd probably sit there and be a bit flirty with you. But now I'm just like, you're just talking to me about something I don't care about. I just don't care.
It is something we're getting older, is that when you're younger, you do want to like go out and hang, like meet people and like socialise and like mingle and all that. But as you get older, you just want your own group and you didn't want to let anybody in.
Oh, I had that one time. I remember that the first time I went out with a few people in East London. And we were in Shoreditch and we went to the bar, the Hoxton, and like in the queue to get in, I realised how young everyone was. Just on terms of their energy. Just, you know, in the queue just like, oh my God, we're going out. This is great. Yeah. And I'm like, I've been out before. I know what it's like.
The visible old come corner at the age of 28.
Yeah, but I just want to.
You peaked too soon, Elliot. This should be your prime.
I want to
This is your last good contract.
But I don't want to go chat to fucking. I always find it weird, you know, when you get like 30-year-old who's trying to fuck 19-year-olds in a bar. Like, go fuck some women your own age, you weird freak. Go, what are you doing? Like, look, if you're in a bar and you get chatting to a girl, she's fit and she turns out to be 19-year-old and you're having whatever, I don't care.
It's a 30-year-old now.
I don't give a shit. Like, fine. But if you're actively...
There's still a little bit of the DiCaprio about that, isn't there?
Yeah, but do you know what? You know when everyone gets angry at DiCaprio, right? And people get pissed off at him.
This is where our podcast becomes problematic, as Elliot starts sticking up for P. Diddy.
Yeah, well, you know...
Victory is a good track, though, isn't it?
It's a great track. We listened to that on the way back. We're like, it's a good song. Separate the art from the artist. No, I think what DiCaprio does is a bit odd. But like, I remember when Elizabeth Warren or someone like that got caught having like a young toy boy, and everyone on Twitter suddenly went like, yeah, good for him, good for her. Like, woo, you go, girl, get in. I'm like, oh, but when it's a guy who does it, he's an art. And it's just this thing where I'm like, it's just...
I just think it's a little bit like... I want to say abuse of power, but it's not even that. You're just like, you're going with someone that's got zero life experience, so that you're going with somebody that's going to look at you like you're wise and have all the experience, and you're in a position to manipulate how they see the world. And it just seems like assuming power to go out with someone that you've got life experience, that you've got that much more life experience than. Like you're a father figure, and you're going to put your dick in them.
Yeah, but they're models who've flown around the world. They've probably got life experience. It's not like he's going out with Jenny and Debenhams.
And our lasses, they grow up more than boys.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Look, I think...
An 18, 20-year-old may tell me I'm being patronising right now, but it's just like, I just wouldn't want to go out with someone that just I felt like was a kid.
But I think it's peculiar. I think it's odd. It's not illegal. It's not. I think one of the things that happens is people are like, that's absolutely disgusting, things like that, and they think what he is because they think because Leonardo DiCaprio can have any sexual proclivity. If he's got like a thing he wants to do, he can most likely find someone who wants to do it within a 10-meter radius of where he is. Do you know what I mean? He's Leonardo DiCaprio, right? So what people get mad at is the fact that that's what they think all men are like. If they got to that level, they think the only thing stopping us being like that is that we're not Leonardo DiCaprio. And to some level, they're probably correct.
So you know when I started hanging out with you when you were like 17, 18 years old at the Fringe?
Yeah, that was weird.
Would you not have found it creepy if I started trying to neck on with you?
I'd have found it really weird.
Would you think, I'd
have found that very uncomfortable.
Would you not find that uncomfortable?
Yeah. But dude, you're not Leonardo DiCaprio.
And you are not a 19-year-old model. And that's going around the world modelling. So who you think you are in this metaphor?
But say Mark Nelson has started trying to neck on with you. Remember Mark? Imagine a love bite from Mark. You look like you've been attacked by a shark.
You would, then just start bleeding out. Bleeding out from a love bite.
You then have to cut Mark open like in Jaws, like a license plate, and I come spilling out of him.
Spill out of him. It's covered in chunk.
There's like a load of flyers and a license plate. And like his own flyers come out.
Cullen's tumour.
But yeah, like it's look. I'm not going like, oh yeah, what it is odd, but it's that classic thing of you're angry at him because he wouldn't go for you. Like, and because he makes that abundantly clear, and it's like, well, what does he talk to him? What does he do? It's like, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't get why Leonardo DiCaprio dating women who are like 21 affects my day anyway.
Nah.
Like, can I still go to the shop? Can I still do things? I don't care. Like,
you're not going to clutch your pearls about that when there's fucking other shit going on.
Yeah, but like,
I just find it like, Leonardo DiCaprio is just one example, but I just do find it creepy when like people just going out with just a younger lass and then they get old enough to be wise to the world and you're going, oh no, you know too much now. I need to get somebody else.
It is weird that he dumps him at 25. That is bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny though. It's kind of funny how nonchalant he is about it. He's like, yeah, what are you gonna do? But you know, but that said, like, I do find it weird when you meet guys who are like in 35 or something, and they go out to a bar to chat up, like, or like some dude who's been in uni for 4 years going Freshers Week. So that's bad.
Did I ever tell you about Niall Ranger and Tiger? The football player. He used to play for Newcastle, but I'm not sure where he ended up playing. But he was in Tiger, Newcastle, and me and Chris Martin and Sloss were out after a punch drunk gig. And we were just watching him just work the dance floor out. He was tapping girls on the shoulder, and when they looked around, he was pointing at his face. And if they didn't recognise him, he'd just go and walk away. And he was just trying to get, I'm a footballer.
Yeah.
I play for the tune. Nah. And then just moving on. I don't know if he got any luck with it, but we just saw him get constantly rejected with that approach.
Yeah, Nathaniel Klein, I wasn't with my girlfriend at the time, but I tried to chat up my bird in a club one time. Don't know if he's got a family or anything like that, but I don't think he does. But this was years ago. This was like a few years ago. They were like singing Drake at each other on the dance floor. And then she was just on the dance floor instead of singing Drake. And then he like went like got my phone and then like put it in. And then later on she like saw he was like a footballer, and I was like, but he's like 5'5", and she was like, yeah, it's a bit small. And I was like, yeah, but then when you found out he was a footballer, you were a bit like, oh, okay. Like,
you're proper shortest, aren't you?
Me? No, I just know that like, well, what? My girlfriend's like 5'7", 5'8".
You actually don't have respect for anyone under 6 foot. I've heard you say it.
I'll tell you what it is, yeah. I had this with another comedian who will remain nameless, who I fucking
let's just say Elliot Steel.
Yeah,
it doesn't work when you're here, but that's what we usually do.
I don't like it at the minute. And I walked into Monkey Barrel on this night in Edinburgh, and I bumped into a girl that I knew that I'd been out with a drink with before, but like nothing had happened. We're mates. Like we're all cool. And he was with her. And I went over to her. I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. We were having a chat. Bear in mind, me and this dude we've never really properly hung out. We don't know each other. We know the bare minimum about each other. But there's like
coexisting in the industry.
Coexisting. But we had like, he said something to me, I can't quite remember, that was a bit weird to me before. Like a bit like, but he's like 5'7", just a good looking lad, but he's better looking than me. Like conventionally way more attractive than me.
Right, so shorter than you, better looking, doesn't really narrow it down at all, so it could be anyone still.
Yeah. But he's, but like, I'm just taller. And just a bit bigger. So I've got that on him, right? Even though if you looked at our faces, you would choose him.
Go on.
He comes over, sees me chatting to her, and just open with, "Hey Elliot, how's your girlfriend?" And I was like, I stood there and I was like, I wanted to go, what you've just done. And bear in mind, I was chatting to her because I know her. I went, and he was with her that night.
Yeah. So you were just actually chatting to a friend.
Yeah.
And you had a girlfiend, but that wasn't even in play. Like,
I've told my girlfriend about this. Yeah, like, she did, yeah. So I wanted to go to him, dude, don't do that shit, because if I was to deal with that, like how a fucking man should deal with it, you're 5'7", you're coming at me in a bitch angle. in my opinion.
I've got the higher ground.
Yeah. Like, I can't get annoyed at you for doing that because then I look like an aggressive arsehole. But we all know exactly what you've just done. You've come over, seen me chatting to a girl, and immediately like thought I was a threat. So instead of like having a bit of chat or having a bit of security, you've immediately come in and just made this like a fucking. And I was just seething.
He's crossed borders.
Yeah, it was, but like, what do you make of that? Because it's not, and let me know in the comments if I'm being an arsehole about this, but I was stood there like, you fucking, you bitch. Like, that's such a bitchy, I'm not trying to shark on your girl. And like,
I'm not a threat, mate.
I'm not a threat. I'm sitting there chatting.
But you've just made things weird for everyone in this whole situation.
Yeah, and then I spoke to her about that, like a while after. And she was like, yeah, and I said it was very 5'7" of him. It was very, oh, hello, like taller guy, all of this. And again, I'll give him props. Very funny, very funny lad, good looking. Genetically, you lost to me.
There we go. It's shortest to discriminate. But I'm gonna defend the little guy here, right? To anybody that's under 6 foot listening to the podcast and that's a victim to Elliot Steele's vitriol here and his hatred and his ism, dwarfist.
I never said they were dwarf.
You're dwarfist.
All right, I'll point out.
Right, I'm gonna stick up for them and just say that you can only be over 6 foot if you've got a driving license and don't live with your dad.
That's
it
fair
is null and void. You are not. You don't. You want 6'2".
6'1".
I reckon you get like you lose like 5 inches.
Yeah, bro.
You lose 5 inches for each of those things. Bro, you lose 5 inches if you don't live with if you live with your dad, and you lose 5 inches if you don't drive. You're 5'1".
I can drive.
I'm bad at maths. You're 5'3".
I can drive.
You don't have a driving license.
Yeah, not according to the DVLA, but that's just a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
But I can drive.
And opinion and legislation.
That's just opinion.
But
yeah.
Do you think like if right now you could get in the car and get me to my gig?
Not a chance.
Nah.
Not a chance.
You can't drive.
Nah, I've never been on the motorway.
Nah.
No.
6 foot 2.
You're fair enough. And
6'2". He's never driven on the motorway.
And yeah, no, that's fair enough.
6'2", doesn't like beer.
Bro, why am I going to the gym and doing deadlifts when I should be like doing fucking driving lessons? My priorities are so in the wrong place.
So wrong, mate.
That's a completely fair point. But I would say, there's like, sure people know, like I got there's a comedian, Andrew Mensah, right? Andrew Mensah is the most charismatic person I've ever seen ever. Just walks into a room, lights it up, doesn't matter about his height.
Yeah.
Like, just lights up, and also, because when people are a bit short and stuff, they're less, like, I've got a thing where I forget sometimes that I look and sound like this, so I could come across a bit intimidating, I could come across a bit aggressive, so I have to like, go, oh fuck, I'm being a bit much right now. I'm a bit like a drunk bear. Like I could just swaying. I'm all over the fucking place.
All limbs knocking stuff over.
Yeah. Like I don't mean
any paint up against them.
I don't mean any harm. I'm dyspraxic. I'm fucking clumsy mess that I am.
I think as well, short people, if they're cheeky chappies at work.
Oh, it's great.
Gareth's nailing
Gareth's cheeky chappy.
Gareth's height does not work against them.
Yeah. But that's another person.
He's cheeky chappy his way through it, and he comes across class.
Yeah, But then, like, I just remember in this moment being like, I don't know if anyone's ever had that where you're in one of those moments where a guy, they just do something that's like psychological warfare.
You'd be Napoleon Short guy.
Me?
If you were short,
I'd be the angriest man in the world.
You'd be like, as if like you're capable of killing people and all that and stabby. Like you would be very much.
I would be. Oh my god! Could you imagine if I was 5'7"?
Oh, you'd be a nightmare. You'd be a chihuahua. You'd be a fucking yappy dog.
I would be that Irish guy last night, just starting.
That would be you.
That would be me. Do you know what? It's good for humanity. I think I've got made.
And then it would be worse because you would actually be 4 foot something because you don't live in don't have a driving license.
Oh man, if I was like 5'6", I would be a nasty little character, wouldn't I?
What do you think it'd be like if you were like much taller? You think you'd be more laid back?
Start destroying the city.
6 hours.
Start stamping on stuff.
Fucking move on Tokyo.
Yeah. fucking going.
Because the worst thing is if
Go
you
fight Marlock in fucking San Francisco.
if you got really tall, you couldn't even do basketball because you're too clumsy.
I'm a clumsy person. Yeah, you've seen me just even the way I walk is like a very. I move like Erling Haaland, but without any of the footballing ability. I do. I walk like Erling Haaland. It's just like a big lump. I mean no harm. I'm a good little boy, cheeky little chap. I'm cheeky.
You're an angry little man.
I'm not an angry little man.
You're threatened to burn down a pizza place because they give you a bad pizza, and then you fucking stole their merch.
Oh, I did do that. I didn't threaten to burn it down.
Did you on the internet?
Oh yeah, but as a joke.
But
all right, here's what happened. Yeah, you were on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't then get backstage because they'd like locked the backstage. I went, do you know what? I'm in this nice pizza place. Let me go get a pizza, have a beer outside. Gonna have a cigarette outside. It's gonna be fucking wonderful.
And then you committed a war crime in the first place, according to most people. I personally don't mind them, but a lot of people are going to be angry at what you did.
What?
You ordered a Hawaiian pizza.
I like a Hawaiian. Why? Okay, first, if you're gonna get into this muggle fucking debate of me ordering,
I don't mind, mate. I'm Marmite, mate. Like
nothing.
You know, Marmite, you love it or you hate it. I'm alright with Marmite. I don't love it or hate it. I'm fucking in the middle with Marmite. Fucking Suez, right?
Okay.
But with Hawaiian pizza, I take a slice if it's there. I'm not ordering it, right? But like some people do make it their identity to hate Hawaiian.
But
so
like,
that's who you.
But okay, it's like people who go like, no, that's not meant to be on a Sunday roast. It's like, bro, just let people have what they. Why? It's like the Leonardo. Why do you care?
Yeah, hash browns on a Sunday roast. Why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah, if you want it. There's already roast potatoes though. Like you don't need the hash browns.
No.
Would be my thing. But if you wanted to have hash browns on yours, have hash browns. I'll take the piss out of you, but I'm not gonna like go.
But what if I wanted a bit of watermelon on it?
I wouldn't care.
But you'd be like, fucking have watermelon.
I'd watch you. If you ordered it in a restaurant, I would get at you, but just because it was to get at you.
I think that's how people are looking at you when you get Hawaiian, as if you've put like a banana on your mixed grill.
Yeah, okay, right. But if they don't, if they're like good, they fucked up your Hawaiian deliberately. Take it off the menu and I won't order it. I'd have ordered something.
Do you think it might have been that? Do you think it might have been someone just kind of fucking
potentially, but like, why don't you then? First of all, we're not in Italy. We're in Bath. Second of all, the pizza cost like 16 quid, right? Which is an expensive pizza. It wasn't like a super large stuffed crust. I like a good shitty pizza, but this was like wood fired, nice pizza. So I was like, do you know what? It'll be nice. It comes and I like bite into it. And first of all, it like flopped like that. It was like watery. The dough hadn't been cooked right. There was barely any sauce, barely any mozzarella on it. It had no consistency to it.
Oh, you described it as it's like somebody just like built a Chicago town frozen pizza from scratch and didn't freeze it.
Yes, that's exactly what it was like. And it was, but it was like cheap. I could tell like the pineapple was out of a can. It was, and the ham was just like Sainsbury's wafer thin ham. It wasn't product to go. Here's why it's £16 because this is it was like, oh, so all of this is shit and you haven't cooked it properly. And I'm not, and I ate it all because I'm a sap. But I wish I was the kind of person, and I sometimes would do this to go like, mate, I'm not eating. Like, this sucks. Like, I've paid, but I don't. I just sometimes think, I'll just suck it up and get on with it. You know what I mean?
So I come off stage and you were fucking seething and you just started stuffing the fucking... I didn't know if it was merch because I'm like, is it a chain or was it a unique...
Saw a couple t-shirts from backstage.
Like a one-time business. I don't know what you call them. But you like just started putting t-shirts in your bag and I didn't know if it was like the staff uniform or whatever. And I'm like, fucking, you just come on tour this on day 2, you're robbing backstage because you didn't like the food to give you.
Yeah, 100%.
And you're a cheeky chappy.
I'm a cheeky little boy, cheeky little rascal. Yeah, it's cheeky little bit of theft, cheeky little bit of crime.
Fucking, you're an angry klepto.
Yeah, I'm a cheeky chappy, cheeky klepto chappy. Why? Sorry, I'm ill. Why? Like what? And I was just fucking raging about it. Like why? Well, and I always say this, right? It's like there's a place in Crystal Palace that does really good coffee called Four Boroughs, right? And it's
shout out Four Boroughs.
Shout out Four Boroughs. It's like £3.70 for a latte, right? But cool. You've gone and learned what temperature that's meant to be cooked at. You've gone and learned and got the fucking beans and all of this stuff. And before anyone goes, oh, you're just drinking a milkshake when you have a latte. I want to drink it. Daniel
got him with a direct hit.
Oh, it fucked me off that no end. A man who would have fucking had turkey dinosaurs at his wedding if it was down to him. Like,
he looked down the barrel of the lens right into your soul.
Are you joking me? Are you actually joking me? Like a guy who like the fussiest eater I've ever seen. So I like it. It's fine. Whatever. But you've got to learn the thing. So it's £3.70. I don't mind paying it. Maybe it's a bit overpriced. I don't care. But then the other coffee place down the road will then start charging £3.70. But they're not like as qualified as them to make a coffee. They haven't put the work.
Just looking at the market and saying, right, people are paying this around here for the coffee.
So then sometimes I go by there. And it's like, why the fuck is it? Yours should be like £2. And I go, do you know what? It's £2. Fuck it.
You just press a button on the machine and it just fucking comes out like rather than an actual barista.
Costs us like £4 for a large latte. Why? It's dog shit. It's genuine dog shit coffee. And I don't mind things being shit. Like, I'm happy with shit food. But let me know it's shit food in the price.
I used to fucking rail Nick Cody when I was in Melbourne, because Melbourne's so good for coffee. And they go on about it as well, man. Let you know about it. I'm fucking really proud of the coffee culture there. And I'd always fucking just sidle up next to Nick Cody with a $1 7-Eleven coffee and just go, I fucking love the coffee.
But do you not agree that, like, let me know in the price, right? You see, like, when you go for pub lunch, and there'll be a pub lunch that's like £20, and you go, all right, that's a lot for a pub lunch, and it comes, and it's just shit. But then I don't mind going to a Toby Carvery, where it's like a little bit shit, but it's like buffet style. It's shit, but it's like, yeah, you're in Toby Carvery. What did you expect? And I go, oh, I can enjoy this for what it is now. I can enjoy, like, I don't mind being scum. Let me. You can't then charge me like I'm middle class. Am I making sense of that?
You don't want to be charged gourmet prices for fucking cheap ass food.
Yeah.
And that's people are just fucking stealing in with that price tag.
Last night we were in that place having a drink, and it's like, I went to get a burger, right? And then I was like, oh, does it come with chips? £13 for the burger. And he's like, no, you got to order chips separately. Why? And the fucking burger was exceptional, by the way.
That was another time you were really angry.
Because you could just...
You're not a cheeky chappy.
No, it's just... I know, like, this man sound like... I know...
It's like being on tour with Daniel.
Yeah, I know, but like, why? Why can't you just? Why do you have to? I'm not going to enjoy the meal as much because you fucked me.
Yeah, do you think they're one step away? Do you think they're one step away from going, there's your burger, it costs you an extra £1 for lettuce and tomato?
I'll tell you what they do charge for sauce. Sauce, I paid for an extra £1 for sauce at the pizza place. You've got the sauce, you put it in a little pot, give me the fucking sauce. I've come to your place and I've why do you have £1?
Can I have a knife and fork as well? He has 50p for a napkin. They're getting like Ryanair, aren't they?
Yeah. What's all this downloadable content I've got to have for my meal? Give me my fucking meal. I want sauce with the thing that I've paid in the place, and now I'm having to go on there and buy FIFA points because I want some fucking garlic mayonnaise. It's go to the kebab shop at the end of the night. You get called boss man. You make friends with a Turkish bloke. Always good fun. Do you want salad? Yeah. How much? All of it. Sure. Do you want sauce? Yeah. How much was that?
In the back.
£9. Yeah. We're going to pay cash. Cool. You're not going to let HMRC know. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this fraud.
That'll be £9. Keep the pund.
Yeah. But instead, there's like this bougie thing that's done where they tap into like the metric of people having money. They tap into the thing of like, hey, welcome to this car park in Shoreditch where there's all these like food vans set up, so everything's scaling back cost. But now you've got to pay £18 for what is peasant food in Asia.
Yeah,
like this was the reason this meal exists is because it was cheap.
They're cosplaying poverty and charging you for it.
But I don't mind if you just scaled back. If you just go to me, hey, this like fucking sandwich is £4, but we're gonna make you a sandwich. It's £3. It sucks. Tesco meal deal. Shit, I don't ever enjoy it. No. Everything is good. It's £3.50.
I've always said that Tesco meal deal is the closest you'll ever get to just having a pill for food. You just fill yourself up. You get nothing out of it.
It's so sad, isn't it?
You're just now full and not angry for the next couple of hours. Like getting a Tesco meal deal is just pressing snooze on hunger.
I after like boxing sometimes, or like MMA, if I've not had if I fasted and trained, I got out of Tesco on the way back, and it's just like, it's amazing. Just like you can just taste the processed food, but then like when I I'll maybe get like a little bit. Have you ever had that Tony's Chocolaroni?
No.
Bro, this stuff's bad, boy.
Surely
£3.50 for a big bar of it, though. So it's insane.
Where's it from?
Holland. When I was in Amsterdam, there was a bigger queue for that than there was the brothels.
Oh, I thought
It's near the red light district, right? There was a bigger queue for the Tony's
It's like one or the other.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got 50 quid. What do I need? Dick sucked over a kilogram of chocolate.
Bro, there was I was like, fuck yeah, go on the Tony's. The red light district's a bit shit now.
Was it ever good? Natalie nearly got fucking chased from there because she went to take a photo, you know.
Fucking idiot, wouldn't it?
I think she was like taking a photo directly of the window. She just had the camera out and like, was getting selfie on
like a little Kodak.
It's when you hear the door
they'll throw your phone in the canal.
No doubt.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to call you a fucking idiot, Natalie, but that is fucking idiot behaviour. Yeah.
That's female privilege thinking you can do that.
Does she grab the stripper when getting her lap dance as well? Yeah, the red light. I went there. I was there a few weeks ago, and I like a little walk around the red light. And sad to see, man. Game's gone a little bit.
It's bleak, isn't it? It's like, I think when we...
Was it 3 p.m. when I was walking around?
Yeah, I think like when I was younger, there was a little bit like fucking reading an FHM magazine where you're like, ooh, boobs, right? There's just a little bit of like just fucking childish like horniness in you, but like the older you get when you go in there, just more seems like fucking like, you know, if you go to the zoo and fucking like that, just honestly, that seems fucking horrible. But you're just like, I feel like these people are in captivity, and I don't know, like, are they happy in their life? And you know, even when you're at the zoo, you're like, if the animals are happy, I'm happy. Like,
but is it not the same when you go walk around like fucking Tesco at 2 a.m?
There's people working there.
People working there. You know what I mean? Like, is anyone happy? If you see me on stage at a gig, I don't want to do sometimes. That's like being in a, that's like that's where I resonate with sex workers. You ever have that thing where you're like, better put on a smile and act like I give a fuck tonight, like, and you go out there and you do your little sad dance. Like, you know, more with strippers who are technically sex workers, even though I don't really think I don't think it's the same. I think you're
they're just like, all of their job is to con Matty into thinking they love him and then taking all of his money.
If you've
I tell you, with Matty back in the day, yeah, he just spent so much money on this one girl that he thought he was in with a chance with, and then walked away and he was like, got her number, and then there went to text her with 10 digits.
Fucking idiot.
He got a 10 digits and it cost him 300 quid.
What's the most you've ever spent in strippers?
Not much, I don't think. Oh, man, I don't know.
Have you ever gone to like 300-400 quid?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
I've got mates who've lost like 500-600 in them.
I've always been like, I'll have spent more on drinks in there than dances. Like,
I've never. My girlfriend was saying to me one time, she was like, I'd go to this. Come on, man, we're doing a podcast. Birds.
What is that?
It's the parakeets.
Is that a parakeet?
Yeah, there's parakeets.
That's an exotic bird, that.
Yeah.
If there's
loads of rumours about why they live in South London.
If there's any ornithologists listening to this podcast and have gotten this far through the episode,
that parakeet.
It's an actual like exotic bird. This is like something off Jumanji.
Do you know there's like whole flocks of them and stuff?
What are they doing? What are they doing here?
No, well, there's a rumour that Jimi Hendrix let a few loose.
Is that Jimi Hendrix's parakeet? Yeah, God.
But then they all started breeding because, like, you know, pigeons are an invasive species.
Where are they from?
No one knows.
I reckon somewhere like Poland or something.
I swear to God, pigeons are like solely a London problem.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
You get pigeons everywhere.
Yeah, but not like you do in London.
Nah, that's
like
true.
London. It's in London. Pigeons and foxes in South London. Foxes are everywhere. So people come visit.
You found a fox in your basement, didn't you?
Bro, they started having a gangbang in there.
Did they?
Because they're like under. I shouldn't really be saying it. There's like a way to get into my basement from a garden, right? And the door was like the door just swung open. And one night I'm just in there, and I just like from downstairs you can hear like the basement like from where I am because it's like an old Victorian house, right? And I just like underside like demonic. Have you ever heard foxes fart? It's demonic.
Yeah,
it's demonic. And I'm just like, and I'm like, walk downstairs.
Speaking in tongues.
I open the door and like 5 or 6 foxes run out. And they'd all just been gangbanging in my fucking like having some
like a diddy party.
Yeah, There was
Foxy Brown was there.
Right, there was.
She was a rapper from that era.
Fucking unbelievable. What was I talking about before that? Oh, going strippers.
Go to the strippers.
Yeah, like I've been strippers a couple of times and I've never got it. It's never. I think I'm too logical for it. As in, and I'm saying, if you can go there and switch that off and lose a bit of money, have a good time. Like, I know we've got mates who can do that happily.
Yeah,
I'm not going. You're a fucking mug.
I've always found it as like when like everything's just a bit busy and heaving and that. It's a place where you can go and you pay to get in, and then you can go and have a comfy seat to run the table with your mates and chat shit.
Sure, that's why you go there.
And then girls will come up and chat to you, and you'll chat back to them. You'll maybe just get a dance, and then you'll get back to chatting to your mates. Yeah. And it's just like it's just like a chilled evening. That said, I'm never inclined to go now. Like, I'm not like I never feel the draw.
Do you know what I would hate to be in a relationship where if I went strippers, I had to hide it from my partner. That to me is like. Although as I get older, I do get more jealous of things. I don't know if you found that.
Nah,
I'm more.
I really trust Natalie.
I trust Lottie, but I'm more like. I don't know, with her work and stuff, which works in like financial law and stuff like that.
You don't trust the guys around her, and she's in an incestuous workforce.
Yes, and also I say this on stage, like I don't get how like women will come home and be like, some guy stared at me on the tube and made me uncomfortable, which is their right to feel uncomfortable, their right to feel their emotions about it, and then there'll be a lad at work who's been trying to fuck her for years and she can't see that one, and I'm like, how did you pick up on that?
Yeah,
and not this.
Not this, because he's good at it.
Yeah, and I'm like, and then they're like, no, he's just a friend. And I'm like, he's a friend to you. Well, he's a friend to you.
He's my work husband.
Oh, is there some office ceremony? Like, is there some ceremony in the office that I'm not invited to? And I say it's like, because it's like when they go, no, but say me and you have a problem, and I can go get his male perspective on it. I'm like, you've just given the nuclear launch codes to the Russians. You've let us know where our submarines are. You've let them know where the submarines are. They know how to tactically get us now. They're just biding their time. It's such a fucking...
Well, I never mind if Natalie cockteases some poor sap at work.
But is it
somebody buys her a drink at a bar?
All right, but is it cocktease you want to see?
We'll wrap up the podcast in a second anyway, because we've got to get to Chelmsford. But we've recorded. Remember, this is the second one. This is a little bit of admin live on the podcast. That's the second thing. And we do have about 10 minutes, but we do have to unpack this to get to Chelmsford, which is as a reminder. This I'm on tour just now. I think if you listen to this as it comes out, the next gigs are Leicester on Thursday. Elliot will be opening. Friday, Leicester, and then Saturday is in Brighton, and I know loads of you are coming to that, so I can't wait for that one, because I believe there's people coming over from America and shit.
Fucking hell.
And they're like travelling as well, but they're flying in, coming to see us on tour, so we'll get to see Jules and Amy at the Brighton gig, as well as a bunch of British subscribers. So that's going to be a fun one.
That's going to be great.
And I think
one of the best cities to gig in.
I think Tommy Innett's coming to that gig as well. Tommy Innett, you know, the YouTuber who got famous from doing Minecraft stuff. He's like younger than you. You don't know him? I think he's just
if he's famous, I'll give him my time of day.
He's just, so he's just started doing stand-up, and I saw a clip of him, and he's fucking really good. So he may be the new Elliot Steel. That would take us away, even though he doesn't need one at all.
I'm such a piece of shit like that. Is that person in the industry? Can they make me something? I'll talk to them. Yeah. What do you do? You work in an office? I don't care.
You've got 3 million subscribers.
Yeah. I'll follow you back.
So we've got them ones that are immediately coming up, but we've also got Sheffield, Manchester, Liverpool, Glasgow, Stirling, Livingston. Go on my website, kaihumphries.com. There's multiple Newcastle gigs.
Fucking great show.
They keep selling out, and then thanks, man. That was very kind of you. The next
Newcastle. Talk about yours. I'm talking about The Simpsons. I'm speaking about The Simpsons.
You are correct. It is a great show. Then if you're in Europe listening to this and you got this far, then I'm going to be coming to a lot of places in Europe. I say most, but we have left a few out, but that was just because we couldn't fit everything in. We've got Europe coming up, and that takes us to Christmas, I think.
No.
Can they see you anywhere? Do you want to plug your socials or?
Follow me on my socials. I'm going to be touring this time next year. This is I'm going to write a bit more onto my show. It did well in Edinburgh, but I want to tour properly next year. I'm going to focus on my socials. Well. Yeah, oh, thank you, man.
It's tired about the wire.
It is. It's actually one of the best. And we just stumbled onto a new bit, haven't we?
Yeah, I think it may be a short one.
And yeah, I'm going to be releasing a special soon that I do have to start editing and stuff soon. My plan was November, but that might be pushed back a little bit, but it's definitely going to be out in the winter period. I'm really, really proud of it. It's going to be fucking great. And yeah, I'm going to start, my plan is to tour next year and start trying to get about 100 to 150 in each show.
Nice.
Like, you know, that point where it just fucking like you're suddenly on the touring ladder, and it makes that
like
difference.
this tour that we're doing now, like that, like kind of grassroots. You're playing some comedy clubs, you're playing some studios,
yeah,
and then try and build it for the next one as well.
Yeah, I think if you could get to that point where you're just like you're able to do like 20, 25 dates and sell between like 100 to 200 tickets a show, what a fucking lucky position that is.
Yeah.
Like that is that there, and also you can then. I love gig. I get shit for it all the time, like from comics, but I gig all the time at Top Secret. But I'm never not happy to be there. I'm always feel like I'm honoured to be there. Or if I'm at 99
you don't take it for granted. You still love what you do.
Yeah, 99 on the store. But sometimes and I feel like I'm shortchanging the audience. If I'm going to some place for not much money and I'm getting back late, I see the gig as an inconvenience. I see the gig as a day of work that I don't want to be doing. Yeah. And like with touring, you bypass that because you want to be there. You want to be doing it. You're going to give us such a great show.
Exactly. I had a nice conversation with Natalie the other day because like we both had like kind of stressful months of like I was doing a lot of like stuff for this tour. I was getting a lot of pressure to do promotional stuff and video camera, like face to video stuff, which I always find takes a lot of energy from me because I can't just do one video.
God, yeah, imagine doing that for your socials.
It takes about 10 videos before I go on that. Like,
social media.
It's literally just that.
No one knows I'm doing stand up.
So like I'm just constantly doing like Q&As for like press, and it's all like stuff that I need to be doing for the tour. But I'm just like I'm doing that and getting like whipped to do more because we're trying to sell tickets for a tour. So I'm now getting this element of the tour that like I've never really had to bother with Daniels. Is on Netflix. Everybody comes along. We just show like does his own promotion for it and that. Like I've never really had that side of it. But he
had to do that.
Yeah,
for like 4 or 5 tours.
I've had it lucky, and now I'm in a position where like it's all about ticket sales. I could make a loss if I don't do my job in September, right? So I'm fucking getting up every day, treating it like a real job, thinking about ticket sales, getting the ticket things through, and all that. And I'm doing that. And Natalie's also in the same boat where she needs to get enough dogs through the door at the dog park to make a profit in her business. And we're just both working really hard, but a little bit stressed about it at the same time.
Yeah.
And then Natalie was just like, I've decided not to get stressed about this because you're like going around telling people jokes and I'm just like giving dogs a good time, and dog birthday parties, we're providing entertainment and a good time for people. It's like something that's just really joyous across the board, so let's just like get joy from it. I was like, oh right, if you look at it like that.
I'm chilled at the minute, but pre-Edinburgh was the most stressed I've ever been for anything. Writing a new show. The year before, preview, did my show, did really well in Edinburgh, came back, toured that show, was then doing a tour, stressful going through what you're through, writing a new Edinburgh show, then filmed the special of the last one, then back to Edinburgh and back off now, which is why I'm taking like a year out from touring to just get my love for stand-up back, to just get that like, all right, I want to go on the road, I want to do this. Like last night when we were at Leicester Square Theatre, I was like, oh fuck, I would love to be here one day doing my own thing. Like that feeling of like, I want to be there, I want to do it.
Oh well, that was the big thing for me was when we'd done that Bristol show, because I drove like about 9 hours to get there, including stopping off for food and stuff. It took us about 9 hours to get from Glasgow to Bristol. I was fucking knackered, and then when I got on stage and had a fucking lovely time, like what a great start of the tour
that was a great show.
And I just walked off going, oh, that's like everything where I'm saying I've been working hard, which I might be tired of people who actually fucking work in manual labour jobs here, and they'll go and you didn't fucking work a finger. But it's like there is a little bit of like building the show, the deadlines, the fucking taking it to the fringe, the fucking travel element of it, and there's all of this like fucking side that like people don't see when they're like scrolling clips or coming to a show. There's all the side of the industry that's like the fucking like graft bit. And then when I got on stage, I was like, oh, this is the fruit.
Yes,
this is the bit that I fucking did. I did all of that so that this would flourish, and then you get to pick the fruit again, like fucking class.
Yeah, the thing I say that you see when people go like, oh, it's not like a manual labour job or anything like that, I do go, having done days and building sorts of stuff, it's a different kind of stress, and your body registers stress as stress. It doesn't register. It's still hard on you. Like when you do have to get up, like, and you know, there are times where I work really hard, and there are times where I'm like sat around doing fuck all. But I still get up and turn over. I still get up and do these things where you do have to work. And then when I see, like, I remember bumping into me and Mike Rice were doing a weekend in Glasgow, and I remember bumping into him in the hotel, and he was sat there with a notebook out and writing. And I was like, Mike Rice is an amazing comedian. I think he's brilliant. And I was like, if I need to keep up at my level, I need to be matching his work rate. Sort of like when you look at
you get a bit of inspiration, like if somebody that's turned up for training early.
And you go like, all right, okay, that's why he's good. Mike's a funny boy, but he works hard.
Work ethic as well.
Vittorio, really funny boy as well, works hard. And you look at that and go like, I've got to do, like, because Vittorio gets a bit of shit in the industry, but it's mainly because people are jealous of him. Like he's just fucking.
I think anybody that puts himself out there usually takes a couple of fucking stray bullets.
Adam Rowe was the same when he was coming. Like
Chris Ramsey was the same before him.
Really,
just people take shots at fucking tall poppy syndrome, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I just think as well with this job, like because you joke about it not being graft, because like just working for an hour a night or 20 minutes a night on some occasions, right? But also anybody could give it a go. There's no CV for it. So if somebody just goes, it's easy what you're doing. You do know you could do that as well if it's that easy. Like there's you don't need to get a uni for it. You don't need a degree. You just need to start doing it.
Yeah,
but like most people will probably go, oh, actually, it seems a bit like fucking hard work. That
or when you sleep in train stations, or you're waiting at the midnight in Leeds to get on a National Express coach that's going to get you back into London at 7, and then all the trains are fucked. So you haven't got money for taxi, so you just have to like get on other buses to get home. I've had that before, and that's when it's like.
Some of the travel's bleak, like
fucking like when you can bypass that point, but it's always round the corner. And when you haven't done it for a while and you get back there, you're like, oh, I thought I was past it. I thought I was past it, man. Like that's the worst, is when you think you're a part, or like a proper death. Like a proper death.
I feel like I've been a little while without a proper death now, and I think it's gonna hurt when it comes. I was saying that though, because it was my own Fringe show, I feel like that last show of the Fringe run had death feeling to it.
Oh, really?
But it wasn't on me. Like, I fucking give him a good performance.
Yeah, that last one's always. Can I just? I know we got to wrap up. Can I tell my last proper death story?
Yeah.
I messaged you. It was so bad that everyone messaged me outside of the group to see if I was okay.
Did they?
Yeah, I got like 4 or 5 people outside the group be like, "Dude, are you all right?" I was like, "I'm fine." But when I told them it, they recognised how bad it was. I was doing this Christmas party in Manchester where a girl would see me at Cardiff Glee, and she booked me. She was a really pretty attractive girl, and I think she booked me just because she kind of fancied me a little bit. Like she was like,
of course,
she just she didn't like.
Couldn't be that she thought you were funny, or
no,
you thought you'd be a good do a good job.
So she went, "Here's the fee," and the fee was good. So. The day before the gig, she messages me and goes, "Hey, do you need a microphone and a mic stand, or do you bring your own?" And I was like, "Oh no." I was like, "Oh no." I was like, "Maybe it'll be all right. It'll be okay." I get to this office party of this company. I went and sat, and she gave me some like info, things to say, not to say, and then like. I went up there and there's like a DJ, they're all dancing, they're all having a chat, they're having a good time, and in the middle of the room there's just like a buffet, and I'm like, well, where am I going to stand? And they were like, well, by the buffet. And they went like, I will introduce you. So the head of the company got a microphone, went up and just went, what's your name again? And I went, Elliot Steel. And he went, Elliot Steel. And I walk over and I was like, got to do 20 minutes. I was standing there doing it and I'm bombing. And there's like 3 people, her and her mates, are stood there enjoying it, right? But the rest of the room, the rest of the room don't really care that I'm on. And there's one guy who's standing there who's 5'7", shorter guy. He started like shouting things out at me, but like the most Tory heckles. He went, you're in a room with a man who drives an Aston Martin. And I was like, is that what you base value on life on? And I saw he had a Peroni 00. So in my head, I was like, oh, do you not drink? Like, what would you do to fuck that up? Like, and I was like,
what's the story?
I went, Elliot, do not go on to self-destruct, burn the gig to the ground mode. You've not been paid. You very easily could ruin everyone's night here. And I would love to do that. I would love to ruin their Christmas party, but it's at the price of your fee. Get the, like, for the enjoyment you're going to have of this 20 minutes ruining their night, it's not worth losing the fee and that coming in. You're going to be off here in a minute. So I'm like, because what I wanted to do is go to him like, yeah, don't yell at me because you've had to give up your kids because you can't fucking handle a beer. You know what I mean? Like, don't take that out on me. Yeah. Don't take that out on me. Go and look at all the money you can earn, but what you really want to, you should have a drink, bro. Just have a drink. Maybe you'd be nicer. Maybe you'd be like, I wanted to go that route.
Oh, you did that? I think that made it up. But
I started like, but he was like getting quite visibly short with me.
He also didn't have any layer of fucking protection, doesn't he?
There's no,
apart from actually fucking fighting him yourself, right? Which you don't want to be doing.
Which I don't want to be doing at a gig. It was completely unprofessional. I've gone to Manchester to do it, and I finished the gig, and I walk off, and she went, "We had cash to give you," and I went, "Just invoice me." Like I'd walked out of it, I went, "Just send me. I'll send you my bank details. I'll send an invoice. I'm not coming back." And I walked to the train station. I got a meal, and I was on my train, and my train got delayed by an hour and a half, and I was fine with it because I wasn't on stage. I went, I don't care. And I was just sat on stage, and I was like, I remember you messaged me something, going like, that's what people think stand up is. That's why they don't do it, because that was that bad. It's humiliation. Yeah. The only laugh I got was I went, I hope you have a better fiscal year so next year you can get a better entertainer, and it got a big laugh.
So you got off on a laugh.
I got off on a laugh, and I walked off, and I was like, going into material, bombing, trying crowd, but there was nothing I could do.
When you throw the kitchen sink at it,
just bomb it, and like there's just like the little shit DJ lights that they've got, and just I can see them bouncing off me. And then the photographer messaged me and went, "Hey," because he saw I had some followers. He went, "Hey, do you want the photos from the gig? If you put any up, remember to tag me." And I went, why would I want the photos from this now? It's like your kids died and someone's going, "Hey, do you want a photograph to remember the time you fucking the worst thing that's ever happened to you has happened?" No, I don't want to.
Got some pictures from the car crash, from the scene of the
death. To Mohammed Al Fayed, like, "Hey man, I got some great photos of your son in there. Like, what the fuck are you on about?"
By the forensics.
Oh, fucking that was a dark night.
So to have the good times, you've got to have those. And you always try to think like, what could I have done differently? But like sometimes there's just not an answer.
There's a way to play that, but to be the comic who knows how to play that, I don't think you're necessarily a good comedian. Nah. You know what I mean? You can then get caught on that, like that becomes who you are, is the guy who panders to that.
Forget out the corporate thing. And if you listen to this on the public channels, which a lot of you are, we've got a Patreon. You can subscribe for £3 a month and you get one extra episode per week, and the last one was part one of me reading out Daniel's book as an audio book. Well, the book I wrote about Daniel as a audio book, I called it. All right. Nice little word there. The birds liked it. I'm going to do part 2 soon, I think. So if you want to catch up on part 1, part 2 will be with you very soon. And follow Elliot Steel. Bye.